Alright, what's up everybody? We're back with the Subaru. I have some stuff coming for the Genesis. I'm kind of waiting on that, kind of focusing on the SVX for right now. So for the Genesis guys that are watching, don't worry, I have more Genesis videos coming as well. I also have a video planned for the Mustang too. There's some maintenance that needs to be done on the GT that I'll get to, but for right now, I'm going to focus into the SVX. Up until it ends up getting the new trans in, then I can actually start driving the car around and not just, you know, having the car as like a parking lot princess, so to speak, or garden gnome. So today what I'm doing is I'm going to run some Seafoam through the actual intake system, try to clear up some of any of the oil buildup that there possibly is in there. I haven't actually cracked it open to look, but I'm imagining there is, since it has like 99,000 miles on it. I'm imagining there's some kind of oil buildup in the runners, maybe up here in the throttle bodies, you know, all that. So first I'm going to start off, I'm going to clean off the MAF sensor. I'm going to use some CRC cleaner on that. It looks like all we're dealing with is 4 10mm bolts, a flathead screwdriver, and then obviously you have to disconnect this. So I'm going to get the tools a while and the cleaner I'll leave, and I'll get that once I disconnect all this stuff out. So you're going to need a 10mm wrench. A socket won't fit in there unless you use one of the small sockets, like a, what's that, the 1/4 inch, and then obviously a flathead. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the actual intake hose from the sensor. It's easy, just, you know, loosen up the clamping up that the hose will pop off of it. I'm going to sit you down for this. That here, just pull it up out of the way, and then disconnect it. I'll just sit this over here for right now, and then we're gonna have to remove the 410s from the housing, but I think I'm just gonna pop the whole air box off by these 4 clips. So 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one's down here. 4. I'm gonna pull the whole box out. I already have the K&N air filter in there, and actually I don't even have to remove those. So I'll just make sure these 10s are tight. So it seemed like they were a little bit loose, so just a little hand tight. Definitely don't want to be too tight on these, because I'm imagining, you know, plastic on aluminum won't go too good. And I'll end up setting this off to the side. You can see the mesh screen in there, and you can see the little electrodes. That's what you're going to want to hit. You're going to want to try to get in there and try to get those little electrodes. I'm not touching it with the screwdriver, but you're going to want to try to spray those off, maybe around the area. That way if there's any crankcase or any other dirt on that sensor, you can get it free. So I'll put that down here in the shade, and I'll show you guys what I'm going to be using here. I'm going to be using some CRC mass airflow sensor cleaner. So we're just going to go ahead, spray it up in there. Let's spray the whole sensor down. I'll try to get it so I can get both sides up underneath of it. I'll let that do its thing for a little bit. Let's check out the inside of this hosing. So I know the bottom of this box should be pretty good. Yeah, it's not too bad. It could be rinsed out, but I'm not too worried about that. The inside of the hose looks pretty dry, so there's nothing backfeeding. So I'm thinking what I'm going to end up doing when I reconnect this, the Seafoam cleaner for the upper and lower ports and anything else it comes in contact with, maybe the TPS. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be running the Seafoam spray, and it has this little nozzle on it that you basically, once the intake's on, you hook it around, keep it attached to the engine, and spray it. Obviously you want the engine RPMs to be a little bit up, because it's definitely going to try to stall out as soon as I start spraying it. So you basically want to spray it. You want to have that equal tension there, basically. So you want to be able to spray it without the engine shutting off, but with it still running through the system. I'm imagining it's not going to sound good. I'm imagining it might start smoking out of the exhaust. And this thing has an exhaust leak somewhere down underneath the passenger floor. So somewhere underneath here it's going to start smoking, I'm imagining. Update on the brakes. So I did get all the brakes done, but I had a hang up on the passenger rear. The actual slide bolt in the back actually ended up like stripping out and it wouldn't go back in. And the driver's side caliper is actually seized. So I don't know how long it's been like that, but I know I tried to drive it back with the brake press tool to actually drive the piston back into the caliper. It would not budge at all. So I think I'm gonna end up getting new calipers all the way around, because I'm not just gonna replace this one and that one. I'm just gonna replace all of them at once. And I'm thinking about doing a gold on the calipers, since I already have the gold kind motor mounts, trans mount and pitch mount. I'm gonna go with gold calipers all the way around. They're probably just gonna be reman calipers, maybe off Rock Auto. I've seen there with like the driver's side and passenger side, both of them together are right around 160, and the backs are about 40 a piece, so 80. And then I'll get them, and then I'll have them powder coated gold. And then I already have, obviously you guys saw this brake setup. If you haven't, it's in my last video. Just go ahead and look through my videos. It's the last video. The R1 concept slotted and drilled rotors, the E-line with the ceramic blue pads. So hopefully the brake dust will be kicked down dramatically with that brake setup. But let's go ahead, I'll pop this back on, and I'll go ahead and start actually running the Seafoam through it. Now with the Seafoam, I've already had the engine warm, because I like to I'll let the car run a little bit, that way it's not just sitting here doing nothing this whole time. I'll go ahead, put you guys down for a second, and pop this all back on. Same thing, put the cover back on for the actual intake, and then snap all the clips down. If it wants to cooperate. There you go. That one. Got something hanging up this one. There you go. Air filter was trying to slide around. So what I'm thinking is, so since we have this spinning hose here, so I'm gonna have to basically snake it around this pipe on the intake and then slide the intake over that way it's past the mass airflow sensor, because we don't want this stuff running all over the mass airflow sensor. So since there's a little giveaway, I'll loosen the screw by hand, and what I'll do is I'll jump this around there a while, and then I'll throw the intake boot on, just slide it on so it's obviously on, and then I'll tighten this down. Now keep in mind, if you don't have the can hooked up to the end of this hose, when you're actually running it, it's probably going to cause a leak, a little air leak, and it might act a little weird. So we have all this hooked up. Now this can, you're going to dump the whole can in it. So basically just go ahead, I'll hook this up for you guys so you can see it. Basically going to end up looking like that. So you're going to have the can hooked in, it's going to run through the little hook thing, which basically all it does is just pre-bends it and then sends it back through. We're going to want to make sure there's nothing loose laying around, because this is definitely going to vibrate a lot. And you're going to want to try to hold the RPMs around 2,000, 2,500 RPM. So I'm going to start it up, and then I'm going to go back over here, and I'm just going to run it. Basically, since it's this isn't like the Genesis. The Genesis is all electric throttle. This thing is actual cable guided, so I can actually control it from over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up. Alright. And then we're just gonna let it fly. I'm gonna go ahead and set you guys down right here so you can watch me do it. And you're gonna want to shake the can a little bit too. And then rehook it back in. And then you just start spraying until it shuts off basically. And then you control. And then you can control the throttle right here by the throttle place itself. So far, I'll give it a little shot, let it try to work its way through. And then I pulled the can away, obviously. Then I'll wait a little bit, give it a couple seconds to kind of like recover a little bit. And with this, you're going to control the throttle with these right here. So, you control that. So we're going to pull it back. And then we'll get back into it again. We'll have to rehook it back up. And basically it's just a rinse and repeat type cycle after that. So, and that's using the Seafoam spray cleaner. It'll help cleaning the valves, it'll help clean the intake ports, along with any kind of other crud that's built up in here. Now you can switch up your access points. Like this one's pretty far away. If I switch it up and try to shove it in here, it'd probably start to stall out faster. Or maybe if I disconnected the PVC line or the other vacuum line that probably goes towards the brake booster, it would be running off a vacuum, which would be a lot better. I'm just trying to get it cleaned up all the way in through the top end. I'll end up switching up the access points at some point during going through it, but you'll actually be able to smell the difference too. Like you can definitely smell it from the exhaust. Even with the fact that I have an exhaust leak, you can still smell it coming out of the exhaust. Now, like I said, I don't know how clean this actually is because I haven't split anything apart yet. I'm kind of waiting on that for now. Because like I said, I still have to run through and do a bunch of other things with it. I'm just trying to get the little things out of the way. Like the next project for me, so I cleaned off the MAF. I'm cleaning out the top intake port with just a quick little spray clean. Next I'll end up going through and disconnecting all of the wires and hitting them with wire cleaner and grease, just so they're not so bad. And just trying to like lube everything up, because if you're getting a SVX, it's an old car and a lot of the wiring on it is brittle, so you're going to want to go through and actually grab as many of the wires as you can, especially grounds, which I plan on upgrading the grounds to it and the actual main wires themselves. But this is a little update video for you guys. If you found it helpful or want to see more on the SVX, just go ahead and let me know. If not, that's cool too. If you do like the videos though, go ahead and share them. and leave a like. And like always, positive feedback or any kind of feedback is always great. But yeah, I'm gonna do it. That's gonna call it a day for this video. I'll keep you updated on the next videos I have, especially when I'm disconnecting all the connectors and cleaning them and greasing them. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace.